Welcome to the STARS program, seniors taking active roles in society. And now, here's your host, ANITA FINLEY.
You're going to be hearing from the #1 realtor in South Florida.
You're #1.
No, I'm not a realtor. You're the #1 realtor. This is Anthony Kulp, and he's actually a full-time realtor, and that's very important to talk about that. I think that's a good subject. You know, Anthony, there are a lot of people who say they're in real estate, and you know, they're doing a lot of other things. And a lot of people just decided to get back into real estate, and they were in all sorts of things. But you have done this for how long, full-time?
20 years in real estate.
20 years, so that's a long time, but that's why you know so much. You know, some people say, well, what is it? You just show people houses and you just find listings right. Tell them what it's really like, Anthony.
Well, showing houses is the easy part. It's getting them to walk away from settlement with keys in their hand. That's the job. So for every settlement, if there's financing, there's about 80 people involved. And working with the right people who are looking over the people that work with them to get you through settlement is the key. So, and forecasting what problems you're going to have. I had a problem the other day, and I said to the buyers, I can't talk about exactly what it is, but I said to them, I said, this form that you have isn't correct, and this is going to have to be updated. And we submitted it, and it came back, and they said, oh, this isn't acceptable, we have to update this. Well, you know, moving, buying a house, and everything is so stressful. Then when something comes up and they have to do it and they have to go and unpack boxes to look for medical stuff, you know, it was just overwhelming to them. So, you know, a seasoned realtor is looking, is looking out for, you know, the problems that can arise.
Right, but Anthony, actually, when you think about it, just move way back before we even, just to show people houses. How do you know what houses? There are, you know, hundreds and hundreds of houses and condos on the market. How do you know which ones that you should show them?
Well, in South Florida, you know, we live here because of the lifestyle. You know, we don't like to shovel snow. We don't like it to get too cold. We don't mind when it's hot. So, you know, you have to ask people, what are your activities? What do you like to do? You know, if you want to be up by the beach, most likely you're going to be buying a condominium. If you like to be inland because you entertain, then you're going to be looking for a larger single family. So, and if you're somewhere in between, you like to entertain, but you like to go to the beach every once in a while, then you'll probably be right off 95 somewhere, and then you have your choice of a large condo or a house.
And actually, that means that you almost have to be a psychologist in a way. You have to sit with somebody ahead of time.
Oh, you have to read between the lines. People will say, oh, I want a condo up on the beach. And then you'll talk to them and they'll say, you know, I went to an open house of a townhouse on the other side of 95. And I'll say, well, wait a minute, you told me you wanted a condo up by the beach. Yeah, but you know, a townhouse by 95 wouldn't be bad either.
No, you're absolutely right. I just had a personal story that when I worked for Arvida many years ago as a realtor, and I had Itzhak Perlman as one of my clients, and he absolutely wanted to be on the beach. And, you know, with his leg, the way we walked to different places. And then after really listening to him, I convinced him to go out to Boca West, where he would have a much better lifestyle for a lot of things. But it took my trying to convince him, and you can't push them. Otherwise, they'll go to another realtor.
Well, when I take people out to try to take the pressure off them a little bit, I'll say, we're not looking for the home you're going to buy. We're eliminating the homes that you're not.
Oh, that's good. I never heard that.
So, it takes the pressure off that, you know, is the next house the one I'm going to buy? So it becomes the next house I'm going to see, I'm taking it off my list. And we eventually we'll get it down to the right home that's for them. And as people see homes, someone will say, oh, I need a home. It has to be at least 2,500 square feet. And I'll say, well, you know, with different layouts, maybe 1,900 will work for you. So let's not just say it has to be 2,500 because you could miss out on the house of your dreams.
That's a very interesting thing. I never heard that before.
Yeah, if it's a house with an open floor plan, you don't need as much square footage. If it's a house that's all broken up and it has an enclosed kitchen, enclosed dining room. So, we'll go out and we'll look at places and they'll say, oh, this is 2,100 square feet. This is perfect. This is more than what I need.
Right.
So,
they come with predetermined ideas, don't they?
Yeah.
And it's up to you. So that's when I started the show this morning saying it takes a lot of experiences, and you've had so many years, 20 years, and you love this, you're very passionate about it, you've been very successful, but it takes that. And so when someone is looking for a home or, you know, whatever style it is, they really should ask the person who first they meet, the realtor, how many years have you been doing this? You know.
Well, I've been a real estate broker for almost 20 years, but I've been in housing since I was a kid, since I was 14 years old. I started as the laborer on a job and just worked my way up, and then I was a foreman of a crew, and we just, you know, it just went on and on. And then one day I looked up and I said, boy, this guy walking on the site selling the house is making more money than I am working here for the whole month, so maybe I'm doing the wrong thing.
Well, knowing what you just said, though, some people want carpet, some people want tile, some people don't cook, some people want major kitchens. So when do you preview the home before you take them, or do you just do this from information? Well,
if people are living out of state, then with the internet now, they can look at pictures, they can look at areas. But if they say, well, we're coming down and we only have 2 days to go out and look, then I'll go out and I'll preview homes to try to get it narrowed down the best. And then they'll come down and we'll go out and look at places and usually add more onto the list once they come down and they see some of the areas. But you never know. If they live here, we might go after work, we might go in the mornings, might, you know, whatever fits in their schedule. And also, you know, you have to set up schedules for the places you're going to see. You just can't knock on the door and say, oh, I want to see your house. So, you know, that takes a bit of planning. I try not to show more than 6 houses at a time.
Oh, absolutely. I think, I'm sure they want to see more and more and more. My guest is Anthony Kulp, who is a realtor. I always call him the #1 realtor in South Florida. And if you want to call him, you can call him at 954-816-9048. No, 815. I'm sorry. I did that. I've done that before. 954-815-9046.
8. 954-815-9048.
I got to do this. You know, you have this. It's so perfect. All right. I get nervous when you're here because you're so good. You're so cute. Let's do this one. Anthony Kulp, Kulp, 954-815-9048. 954-815-9048. And let's get you on his real. Let's see. You have a website though.
Yes, and it's real estate.
Right.
SOFL.com.
Right. So I don't have that listed here, but I've got to do that. Yeah, I don't see that. So okay. So let's do that one time. Let's get on your website again. What is it?
It's real estate. SOFL.com.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. Isn't that interesting? That I don't think we have that in your advertising either. We have your email, but we don't have your website. Do you like people to go to your website? You have a lot on your website?
Email me.
Email me.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people in our age range, young, they use the internet for a phone book.
Mm.
So, you know, it's better to contact me. And if you'd like to use email, send me an email. Let me know the information that you're looking for, and I can zip it right out and get it right to you.
Right, that's what we say.
Or call. I still accept phone calls.
Oh, you do? No, I love phone calls. I like to talk to people about it. Okay, well, let's just move on to this. So now, we have people coming down. Of course, we call them snowbirds, but they're looking to, seriously, they are looking to find a place to come to. I want to assure everybody that even if you find the place and it's at the last minute, Anthony, I know Anthony, he will follow through and you can do all the closing and everything even if they're not here now, can't you?
Oh, yeah. Everything can be done by FedEx or online. It's so simple. Settlements are so simple now.
Well, they do have to get approved in many instances, don't they?
Yeah. Well, you know, older people who are in the 55 age range and above, they might already know a lender. It's always better if you use a local lender. And they've been through they've probably bought and sold 3 houses in their lifetime already. So they're a little bit more comfortable with the process.
But you can help them.
Oh, absolutely. And from home inspectors and, repairs afterwards and, whatever has to do with the housing industry. Most agents down here, a big part of our business is people that are moving here from somewhere else. So you have to have that in your toolkit to be able to say, okay, don't worry, I'll have somebody take care of it. The other thing here, the other day I was putting a chandelier light up.
You were.
For somebody. Somebody had sold their condominium.
Yeah.
And they moved north. They went back north. And they took the chandelier with them. So hanging from the ceiling is a couple wires. So nobody wants to walk into a house and see exposed wiring hanging from the ceiling.
I can't believe it.
So I said to him, do you have somebody who can put a chandelier? No, we've been so busy up here putting our new house together, we don't know what to do. So I said, all right, I'll put one up for you. So I went to the store, bought a chandelier.
Oh, my God.
And I'm standing on a chair putting this light up. And, luckily it wasn't difficult.
And you didn't fall.
I am handy, so yes, I didn't fall.
Oh, but you see, but you just hit it. That's what I wanted to say, that you really are, you're so experienced. And it's called staging. When someone walks into a home that's for sale, whether it's furnished or if it's unfurnished, it has to really look nice. Otherwise, even if it's the perfect place for them, they just get turned off, don't they?
Absolutely. One of the groups of people that I deal with are people who are going into nursing homes or assisted living. And I had this one customer who will remain nameless, Jack, who he had a lot of stuff. He accumulated wonderful things throughout his entire lifetime. And he had large collections of books and just furniture and, items, and just everything had a memory. And I said to him when I took the listing, I said, Jack, it's better if you do a little bit at a time than you do everything at once. And it was a hard change for him, just having to go from a large apartment that was about 1,700 square feet to a smaller place, 1-bedroom apartment. And he had to get rid of a lot of stuff. So he did.
So how did he do that?
Well, he did pretty good. He did a little bit at a time, and then he had about 30 days of doing that, and then we got a contract, an acceptable contract. And I said, Jack, you have 45 days, and that clock ticking over his head gave him so much stress. Now, luckily, where he was moving to, they had somebody who helps people with that.
They have a moving coordinator. Huh?
Yeah, and he did a great job. I mean, Jack, all in all, you did a great job. I know he's listening because I told him I was on today.
Oh,
so.
Good. You
job.
really hit on a very important thing. They can either put things in storage, but even that's silly because they're never going to use them. Now, if they want to, donate them or give them to their family members,
right,
they can do that. But we have wonderful Faith Farm is a great place to donate things. Let me tell everybody again, you're listening to the #1 Realtor in South Florida, Anthony Kulp, and the number to call him is 954-815-9048. And he's smart, but what I like about Anthony, the minute I met him, he's very nice. I mean, you're a nice guy. You're not, there are different people that don't seem to have they don't have patience. I've met them. It's funny, I live at a condo. And when I go down to the lobby, sometimes there are people who are showing people around, and you can just see how snippy some of them are. The key isn't there, or this isn't right, and and I'm sure I know you're just not like that.
Well, if you're stressing out, you're stressing your clients out. And if they don't feel comfortable with you, good luck holding on to them.
Yeah, right.
So, one of the big things with moving to South Florida, most people who move here already know somebody who lives here. And they're the pull. Not only do they want to live the lifestyle, but, I have friends there, so now I'm not moving to an area where I don't know anyone. So if you're enticing your friends to move down, or if you're helping them, here's a couple of tips you can give them. One, have their kids come in and take whatever furniture they want first. And then start paring stuff down. It is very expensive to move now. I hear people with moving bills of $13,000, $16,000, $18,000, even for a little condo, $7,000 to move down from a 2-bedroom, 2-bath down here for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. And then they get down, and if they're in the Northeast from where I'm from, we have a lot of heavy, dark furniture. antiques. Well, when you get here, folks, it doesn't go. It doesn't matter.
So it's better to get rid of it where you are, right?
Get rid of it where you are. Give it first thing to do. Check with family members. You know, oh, I know you like this. Would you like to have it? That's what we did when we moved down. And it was funny because we had family members come to the house and we said, you know, if you see anything you like, take it. And
fight.
well, no, it was
fight.
just the opposite.
Oh, really?
A niece and nephew turned and said, "Are you dying or something?"
Oh.
And we said, no, we're moving to Florida and it's just too expensive to bring with us. And if something should happen to us down here, nobody's going to fly to Florida to look at some furniture and then ship it back. So the better thing to do was to leave it with family up there. And so we pared down. And there's a lot of different moving options now. You can have, there's companies that'll drop a box off at your house. And you fill the box, and then they come and pick it up, and they'll store it until you say, okay, now I want it dropped off at this house on this date. And that's what we did, and it was great because they dropped it off on our driveway here, and we unloaded it at our convenience.
Oh, that's that big white box?
Yeah, and there's several companies that do it now. There's other companies, if you can do it, if you have the time frame to do it, you say to them, okay, we need this shipped to Florida. We would like it picked up between the 1st and the 10th, and you can drop it off between the 20th and the 30th. And it really cuts the cost down because you're being put on a truck with other people that are moving south, and the cost just goes way, way down. Now, a lot of people don't have that luxury. You know, they say, well, we have to be out of our house on the 5th, and we need the stuff delivered to Florida on the 8th. So, and that's where they're usually paying the most.
And of course, you understand all the condo rules before. So when they think they're coming in the weekend and they don't allow anyone to move in on the weekend, right?
Yeah. You have to know the rules with moving in. And a big thing now is emotional support animals.
Are what?
Emotional support animals.
Oh, we call it emotional support, right?
It's a big thing. People moving down. Not many condominiums down here would allow pets. So people get an emotional support animal. And I'm not an attorney, but the way I read the law, people think that, oh, I have to have this mental illness or stress or something to have this animal. Well, it also includes if you have to get rid of your pet in order to move into a non-pet building, would that cause you undue stress?
Yes.
and it does, and you qualify with that situation.
I had never heard that.
Yeah. So it's not just I have to have the dog. I've had this issue for a long time, but I know I'm going to go through a hard time if I have to get rid of my pet. So.
Well, good. See, that's why I said that you really have so many facets to your to your business. It's not just, okay, I'm going to show you houses and I'm going to sell it. You really do know a lot of these things. That's very, very important. So, Anthony Kulp, and number one realtor in South Florida, and the phone number again is 954-815-9048. And you really need to think about this. Maybe you're not quite ready to sell or to buy, but you can certainly, and I know that you want people ready and all, but the one thing, please, I'm going to suggest, if you start dealing with Anthony, or any other realtor, as that matter, stay with them. Don't go to a lot of different realtors. It's not only not nice, it's not fair, and you lose in the long run. You get confused, because there are people, there's some people, when I was in real estate, and you work with them sometimes for weeks, and then all of a sudden they drive by a place, they see it, they go in, and I always say, look, if you see anything, call me, and I'm going to help you. Because you really can be taken advantage of. That's what they don't understand, right, Anthony?
Absolutely. And one of the best things you want to hear from your realtor, believe it or not, is, I don't know. If your realtor says to you, I don't know, but I'll get that information for you, that's what you want to hear. But if a realtor knows everything about everywhere, it's... there is no way you could possibly know all the rules and regulations for all of the different developments, whether it's a HOA or a condominium development. So if you ask your realtor a question and they say, I don't know, don't think it's because they're not experienced. It's because they are experienced. And they know, let me look at the rules and regulations, let me get that information for you, and I'll get back to you. And they're not just giving you an off-the-cuff answer, which the truth might not be found out until after you settle, which is the worst time to find out.
Oh, absolutely.
So.
But let's also go through this other part of looking for homes. You know, everyone now, they get on the internet. I mean, before, when I was in real estate, there was nothing like that. You needed a realtor, and we were on MLS, and we saw it. But you have a lot of people that come, and they've already seen all this on the internet, and they become experts, don't they?
Yeah. Or they expect you to know. You know, oh, do you know this development in Tamarack, or do you know this place in Boca? And again, I don't, but I'll find out. What would you like to know about it? And I'll get back to you with the answer.
I see in your ad, though, you do show some of the condo and the home that you have for sale. And so do you have on your website, or can they actually see a virtual walkthrough of any of these?
Condominiums are a little difficult to do a virtual tour. The rooms just aren't large enough to give a full spin. So what'll happen, you'll get this fisheye effect. The one wall will be very close, and as the camera turns and the wall is further, digital cameras today, they're not like old cameras where horizontal lines will stay horizontal and vertical lines will stay vertical. They'll start to bend and distort lines. So with the camera, as it turns, it's giving it that fisheye effect where things are starting to bend, and it's really not giving you a clear view. The MLS, Zillow, Trulia, they all know that. So now I put 100 pictures up on my listings.
Do you?
And a lot of pictures will look similar, but it'll be a snap, and then 2 steps, and then another snap, or I'll stand in the middle of a room and I'll take pictures that way, or walk from each corner of the room, shooting it from each way. And that's just as good as a virtual tour, and it actually probably gives you a better idea. Realtors were using high definition photos. It looked like you could reach into the photo. What would happen is people would see that online, and then they would go to see the house, and they'd say, well, this doesn't look anything like the house I saw on the pictures online. And it just, so now we're using high definition photos, but they're not that high def where it looks 3D where you can stick your hand in there. And it's a more actual photo of what you're going to see. Now remember, we only take the good pictures. So when you walk into a house and the pictures were great, and you go in and there's a stain on the ceiling, or the bathroom door is broken, it happens.
Absolutely. That's why really, I mean, and I'm in the communication business and all, but there's nothing like having to see it. Just like I have people who call me. This morning we had a wonderful celebrity writer from Staten Island and someone from Utah. But when I have someone like you sitting right here in the chair, and I get to see you and I get to know you, and it just comes off differently. It's the same thing as seeing property.
That's right.
Just seeing it every other way. I think they have to have enough confidence in you, and you just ooze confidence, frankly. And then you just say, look, I know you're going to like these places. Let's just come and see them, right? Yeah.
Well, first impressions are everything. So most people, I've never met them before until the first time we go out. And, you have to have them at a comfort level from the very beginning and keep them there. It's a very, very stressful. A lot of agents who have been doing this for a long time, and I was a broker and I had my own agents, and I said, guys, listen, don't ever forget for a second how stressful this is for your buyers or sellers. There's, it could be so many reasons why they're moving. It could be, loss of a job. It could be because they got a job and they have to leave the area, or they want to get their kids in a better school or in a safer area, or they want to downsize. There's so many reasons, and everybody takes it different. Some people are elated. Oh, I'm moving into a bigger house, and the kids are going to a better school district. But other people, it's not such great circumstances. And you have to, take that into consideration when, don't overwhelm them. If they're already overwhelmed, don't send them 20 houses to look at. Break it down to 3 or 4 and let them know, hey, when at your convenience, at your time, we'll go out and we'll look at 1 or 2. We don't need to look at all of them in one day. So, you have to take into consideration what's going on in their life.
Yeah, that's such a good point. I mean, some people, of course, they're moving because they've lost a spouse. and some people can't walk so well, you know, and that's a big effort for them, right? And so it's like,
during the housing crisis, and people were, you know, losing their homes and we were doing short sales, and they were losing their family home. We stopped having everybody at the settlement table at once, because the buyers would be, oh, I stole this house for this price, and I'm so happy to get it for this price. But in the meantime, somebody's losing the house they raised their kids in. And the buyer has the right to be happy, but, you know, they shouldn't, the seller shouldn't have to be beat up thinking, wow, you're doing great off my loss. So,
you know, Lloyd Hasner is one of the people watching, and Lloyd was he built a lot of homes in Palm Beach County. And he's quite a powerful guy. So, yeah, well, you're a
thanks
powerful
for watching,
guy.
Lloyd.
Yeah, right, Lloyd Hasner. But Anthony Kulp, #1 Realtor in South Florida, phone number 954-815-9048. Give him a call. If you have any questions, you know, maybe you're not ready, but if you are ready, why don't you call him, because I think you'll be very happy with what Anthony knows and what he does and what he's going to show you. And you're really not limited to just Palm Beach County or Broward, are you? I mean, if someone, I know you can't go driving on the west coast of Florida, but of course they want to buy a mansion, you'd probably consider it.
Well, I've had people who moved down here, and they said, you know, I have this realtor, and I don't know any other realtors, but they're not doing anything for me, and I don't know what to do. I said, hold on a second, I'll call you back tomorrow.
Right.
And I called the area, and I researched, check with the local board to see who does business up there. And I don't always say, here's the biggest guy there, because sometimes with the biggest realtor, you see them the first time, you never see them again.
Anthony, thank you. It's always a pleasure to have you on our show. We look forward to lots of sales and lots of purchases, and just keep taking care of everybody.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me.